Okay, so the last bit of cropped footage lasted significantly shorter than I was expecting. Still, it was more than I could have fit in the previous clip without overrunning to over half an hour long, but still, it is kind of funny. And there's our save point. This is as good a point as any to rest up, get some MP back, and save before we move on. At some point, I should probably sort through our bag. At the very least, I'm curious why we have 2 separate inventory slots taken up by regular potions. I could have sworn our holding limit for those was 99 of them, and that the 99 would fit into a single slot. It's not that big of an issue, but it is kind of confusing. Apparently, Porum didn't regain all her MP and the rest in that tent. Funny, I could have sworn she was using less magic at a time than our 2 black mages. Maybe I'm just not paying enough attention when we're healing or something. It's certainly going to be easier to pay attention to the various numbers now that I don't have to crop the footage anymore to see what's going on. It looks nice and clear right now. Really wish I knew why my recording program decided to record the entire screen instead of just the window. I certainly didn't mess with any of the settings there. It just took me a while to notice the program had a slightly different setting on at the time and flip it back to what it was supposed to be. Good God, that mini spell is really getting on my nerves. At least casting Mini can cure someone of the same status, much like the Toad spell. I'm not as sure with the Pig spell with that, but I assume it works the same as the other 2. These Baron Guardsmen certainly like messing around with our bodies, that's for sure. They're not really doing any damage, but it's annoying as hell. Speaking of annoying, we've got yet another guardsman and a pair of hydras when Yang is still stuck in mini form. And apparently, the only spell that Palom can send out right now is Pig. Funny how I'm a lot more annoyed with those transformation spells than any of the things the enemy has been doing to actually inflict damage. Of all the spells that Tellah has, Mini is not among them. So, yeah, why the hell don't we have Mini when he has so many other spells? And seriously, I can accept being turned into a toad or getting poisoned since they feel curable with the resources we have, but ugh. And apparently Palom is missing with the Pig spell. How is he missing? My attempt to get him out of that pig form and he misses? Son of a bitch, someone really screwed up somewhere. Possibly me in preparing before entering this dungeon. But this is just the wrong kind of frustrating, where we just don't feel prepared for what's coming at us, and even if I retreat to the previous town, we will not have the right tools. It's not like there's a cure for Pig back in the town at the other end of the Devil's Road. This just feels like something that I'm gonna be overcompensating for in the next Final Fantasy. Probably should have used Izuna instead, but I don't think I was thinking too clearly at this point. I just was not expecting this much trouble the moment I loaded the game up after that save. starting to think we need some different indicator for if something is ineffective. Because seeing the word miss makes me feel like if we keep trying, we'll eventually get a hit. Definitely a lot more grueling than it had any right to be. It seems we made it to the castle. That's probably a good sign. Kind of hoping there's another means to heal in here, preferably something that also removes status effects. Considering the crap we had to go through in the caves, I can't help feeling that the gate shouldn't be guarded by simply 2 guards there. Seriously. If you're gonna have a roadblock for a bunch of badass fighters, don't make it something that they could conceivably fight their way through a lot easier than the caves we just... wait. Just walking into the bed is enough to trigger us falling asleep? I was kind of expecting a yes or no question on if we wanted to rest. I would have clicked yes anyway, but still. I can't help noticing that absolutely nothing has changed in Cecile's bedroom, even though he's notably not been a member of the Baron military for most of the game here. I know he's kept things pretty Spartan in here. He didn't have any kind of personal possessions, but still, they could have done something. I'm not entirely sure what, though. Maybe just have another officer sitting in his bed or something? As is, the castle seems empty compared to how it was when we first walked through it in the first clip of the game. So they only have the 2 guards immediately on the gate, and there's nobody else protecting the place? Nobody in the prison either. Part of me kind of wants to feel unnerved by how empty everything is. The other is just wondering if this is meant to be something to add atmosphere somehow, despite the music just being regular. Or if it's just the game designers trying to save some space on the original cartridge. I don't know what's going on. Well, at least the place isn't completely empty. There's somebody here to talk to. I'm sorry, wasn't Baigan the guy who told the king that Cecile was thinking of being a traitor at the start? Cecile should not be giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Getting caught off guard by Kane starting to attack us is one thing. The two had a pretty friendly history, but Baigan? Just no. If people were being attacked inside the castle, then show me some bodies on the ground. The place is just absolutely bare. And I call bullshit on this guy without a personal portrait joining our team, especially since our team is already pretty damn full at the moment. Well, sadly enough, it was convincing enough to convince Cecile. Our hero is certainly slow in the uptake, that's for sure. The might he's been giving Baron is the ability to apparently turn a man into a monster. That could be kind of troublesome. Some people say this is the toughest boss fight in the game. Let's see how we handle ourselves here, considering my tactics. Now, you don't want to cast black magic on the main body. He'll just cast Reflect and make things tougher for us as we keep trying to take him down. But you can't just avoid using black magic at all. 2 of the 5 members of our team, that is their best way to cause damage. Now, my general plan against the bastard is to use our black magic on his arms and focus our physical attacks on his body. Maybe not the most efficient way to get things done, but it's what feels comfortable for me. Let's see how it goes in this particular instance. Well, that's one arm down. Now, on one hand, destroying the other hand will prompt both of them to regenerate. But even just temporarily removing them will take some pressure off us while we keep pounding on his body, because those two arms are his main means of offense. And it's not like I'm planning on getting through this fight fast. Porom has plenty of MP, she could keep healing us for quite a while here. Slow and steady and all that. Besides, I severely doubt that this bastard is going to have any status effects anywhere near as annoying to deal with as all the ones those soldiers were throwing at us back in the caves. Well, blood feast certainly doesn't sound pleasant, at least when we're the ones being feasted on. I didn't see any green numbers over his arm or head, so I assume it doesn't just absorb our health to heal him, it's just causing damage. Okay, so Yang is constantly losing health as if he was poisoned without actually having the poison status effect. I'm kinda hoping that heals itself at some point. I'm certainly not seeing any sign of a status effect we can actually cure here. Yeah. As I said, attacking the main body results in the body casting reflect on itself, which means that two of our team just aren't allowed to hit him with their best weapons directly. They can only immolate his arms when they regenerate. And there are the arms again. Time to start burning them off again, since the reflect spell doesn't touch them. I'm sure there are more efficient ways to take this guy down in a hurry, but I'm certainly willing to go for the slow, steady route. It's not like I'm in any hurry here, and considering the lack of random encounters in the castle so far, once we're done here, we can just casually go back to Cecile's room and rest. Doesn't matter how fast you are if you aren't sending any attacks at the moment. Really feels a bit strange the way this fight was set up, since I don't think I've ever seen any other enemy in this series have multiple body parts to specifically strike before the fourth game. It became kind of a thing for some enemies later on in the series, but this is the first time. Considering how memorable this fight is, you'd think there'd have been a bit more build-up to us fighting Baigan. But, nope, we just walk in and a minor character you might have forgotten about decides to start a pretty brutal brawl. This guy is not being treated as one of the 4 elemental bosses, yet he's certainly proving to be a good deal more dangerous for us than Skarm was, a guy who was sent specifically in a cutscene to try to prevent us from becoming a paladin. It's just very odd storytelling decisions here. And once again, Baigan is completely disarmed. His means of offense are rather limited for the moment. And the arms grow right back, so it's not all that much of a point where he's defenseless. Still, kind of funny that multiple online guides say don't use black magic in this fight at all, and don't destroy both arms, but that's how I've pretty much always handled this fight. Feels like the physical strikes to the body aren't hitting as hard at the moment, though. Still, damage is damage, and it's not like this guy has been doing anything to heal his main body, so we're making progress. Ah, So he takes less damage to the body if the left arm is still in play, or at least I think that's what's going on. Maybe the game is treating it like that's hostile in a more distant row or something. It doesn't really make all that much sense to me, and it doesn't even feel consistent in this fight. It's just a... yeah. Ah, well, I suppose it doesn't matter all that much how this guy's divided up or how our physical strikes act when we hit him at any given time. What matters is that we keep hitting him and keep ourselves healed while doing so. He's not invincible. He can't take this kind of abuse forever. I just wish there was some way for me to tell how much more abuse we're gonna have to throw at him for him to finally drop. Hell, I can't even tell how quickly he's going to replace his arms when we burn them off. That last one was pretty much instant, and apparently we're still doing good damage to him with our punches and sword despite the arms being back. Yeah, just... Definitely quite a long boss fight the way I'm handling it, especially compared to the other fights we've had to this point in the game. And the main body is gone. Just need to finish off the one disembodied arm that's still floating there for some reason. And the boss fight out of nowhere is finally finished. That certainly took long enough. It'd probably be a very bad idea to march into the throne room after that fight with the way we're worn down. For God's sake, Cecile. It's not like Baigan betrayed Baron. It's that Baron betrayed you. What is so hard to comprehend about that, considering everything that's happened in this story so far? Well, we're certainly gaining a lot of items by exploring. Though, there are apparently still some parts of the castle we're not allowed to enter for some reason just yet. Considering how empty the castle feels right now, I would have thought it would have turned into an outright dungeon. Random encounters left and right to help convey that this is very hostile territory. Nope. The only random encounters were the ones we saw in the caves to get in here. Is that why they made the encounters in the cave so annoying to deal with? To make up for the lack of encounters in the castle itself? I'm sorry, but I was under the impression that the castle was the enemy's stronghold, their capital city. But this is just not feeling like a stronghold. It's more like an abandoned town or something. Yeah, nobody to talk to as we run around here. No fresh items in places we explored last time we were in the castle. Just a whole lot of empty rooms where there used to be people to interact with, and at best some various items scattered in places we never got to before. Well, back up the left tower to rest after the obscenely long boss fight we went through, then it's back into the caves to save. I'm sure there are other corners of the castle to explore, like the hidden door that used to be guarded back when we were here the first time. But I kind of want to get things moving along a bit further, since I'm hoping the story does some good stuff as we keep pushing onwards. So far they haven't impressed me after that amazing opening, but no harm in hoping. Right, so we've got a fight just before we can save, and it's the kind of fight I keep expecting while in the castle itself. Are you kidding me? We went through the long, brutal boss fight without losing anyone, but we near instantly lose Palom in a random encounter on our way to the save point. As I said before, I've got the distinct feeling that the random encounters in this game are legitimately more difficult than the bosses. There's no way that was an intentional design decision. Just why the hell did they have to make the Baron Guardsmen so annoyingly capable but not actually have them show up in the Castle of Baron? Just the cave system, which is supposed to be less defended than the castle gate and walls? I mean, again, why couldn't we just walk through the door? Well, at least Yang still hits hard when he's a pig. Oh, son of a bitch, just let me get to the save point already. We'll sleep off the status effects we've been cursed with before we get to the throne room next time, but I am feeling pretty done right now.